Hello everyone and welcome to the Financial Room. I'm your host once again, Natasha Bridgmohan. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be finishing up part 2 of the 5 steps of the grieving process and financial responsibilities that come with dealing with the loss of a loved one. Last week we talked about the first 3 stages: denial, anger, and bargaining and regret. This week we're going to be talking about the last 2, which is depression and acceptance. Now, before we talk about depression and acceptance, all of these stages of grief can be elevated or even worse if you are dealing with financial struggle during a period of the death of someone and planning their funeral. And also you maybe be dealing with family disagreements and disapprovals, and sometimes unfortunately arguments if a loved one has not left a will with their instructions and so forth. Everyone has their own opinion and their own thoughts and relationship with the deceased and what they assumed or think that the deceased would love or appreciate or would want. So it's very important to plan. This is my favorite saying in the financial room: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Now, we did talk about last week about setting up a will for you and your family, and prepaying for funeral arrangements and having an active living will versus a will after death. And of course, if you need to refinance and pay off debts and take care of your funeral, you don't have those funds right now available, or get a loan, here at the BridgGroup, we're here to help you get rid of all these financial stresses. So the grieving process, if you're the one who's no longer in this world, or you've lost a loved one, it's much more clear than it is gloomy. Now, let's talk about depression. One of the final stages that happens in when you're feeling the grief of losing a loved one, it usually takes about 90 days for all this process to happen very, very quickly. That's not to say that you will forget your loved one, you won't have sad days, but the intense feeling is usually about 90 days. And what is depression and anxiety? It comes in many forms: sleeping in a lot, crying a lot, feeling anxious. It could also be, snapping out at someone, or feeling irritated or lost with words, or agitated, or even aggressive, or quite opposite, shy, reserved, sad. Depression, anxiety is very, 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 very important during the grieving process, to make sure that you are looking out for a person who's grieving at an elevated level during depression and anxiety stage. Seek help for them. Seek help for yourself if you're the one who's dealing with this. And your doctor can give you some temporary medication or therapy. A therapy session or sessions can be very, very good. There are grieving counselors that can help educate you in terms of how to deal with these processes, and denial, anger, regret. Depression, anxiety can be very dangerous. It can cause weight loss, weight gain. It can cause relationship problems with those that are alive and healthy with you. So it's very, very important for you to realize this. And of course, acceptance is the last one. Accepting that they're no longer here with you. They're gone, to the afterlife, and they're in peace and they're in solace, and they're no longer suffering, or of course they'll be missed, but accepting that you will also be joining them in the afterlife. It's very, very important. So having that acceptance and feeling that comfort. Okay, I feel my baby brother is no longer with me, my aunt is no longer with me, but their energy and their memory lives within me and within their children and their loved ones. So here at the BridgGroup, we're all about planning and helping our friends and our clients and our community help them with financial matters. Pick up the phone and call us. We are here to help. Thank you.